winding down the regular season now. I know heading into this year, one of your priorities was to really find more aggression, but also keep hunting for your own shots too. Do you feel like you found that balance between creating for yourself and creating for others?
Yeah, I think each game calls for something different, and I'm not going to get outside myself, get outside the team, trying to hunt my shot. But some games may take that, me being more aggressive, looking for my shot, but just trying not to pass up open ones has been key and been huge, and something that the coaches have been on me about. So yeah, I think it's a balance, honestly, that you try to figure out each and every game.
Emily, for either of you guys as kind of the veteran leaders of this team, what was the last couple of days like, just kind of trying to reset from South Carolina and get yourselves ready and prepared to play today?
Do we have to?
Well, we were definitely sort of riding a high, so we knew we had to sort of refocus back in. And I mean, with our team, we treat every team that we play the same way. We prep for them the same way. So just sort of focusing in on who was ahead of us, which is Seton Hall, and doing our best to prep for them and staying locked in.
For Paige? You've been very outspoken about your commitment to Christianity in the past. Have you found in your experience that an embracing of Christianity is growing in women's basketball and sports in general?
Yeah, I think people are more outward in their faith and they're more comfortable talking about it. I feel like the more you see it, the more popularized it becomes and the more comfortable everybody becomes with it. But yeah, I definitely think it's growing in terms of being outspoken about it.
Caitlyn, welcome back to New Jersey.
Thanks.
How would you say this graduate season at UConn is going for you, and what have you been able to bring from your background at Princeton to what you're doing now and your successes at UConn?
It's been a lot of fun to be able to play here, to play with Paige, AZ, Sarah. They're such great players, and I've been able to learn so much from them and coach. What was the other part of that?
Yeah, what have you brought over from the foundation that you got at Princeton to this job you have now?
I feel like I learned how to be a leader at Princeton. A lot of that I had to do a lot of that type of stuff there. And I sort of feel like I brought that over here and just trying my best to be vocal here.
You still stay in touch with Carlo and your old teammates?
Of course. My assistant coaches were here today, which was nice.
Excellent.
I also propose Maggie.
Paige, going back to Ellie's question about how you guys come up with the South Carolina win, how would you rate your guys' response today of today's win, starting off kind of slow and picking back up in the third quarter?
Yeah, I definitely thought our response right away wasn't great in terms of like starting out aggressive, throwing the first punch, knowing Seton Hall was going to play with a chip on their shoulder based on what we did to them at home, and they play hard, they're well coached. So I think it shouldn't have to take us a half to really settle in and play our basketball, but the response in the second half is what we need to continue to move forward and do.
Anything else? Okay, you guys can come out. Well, there's questions for Coach. Let's start off with go ahead, Martin.
Thank you.
Coach, you talk about Paige being aggressive, the whole season. This South Carolina, she's aggressive going downhill and created a lot of space. As you're looking at her game develop, you see she's starting to get it to, be aggressive, more aggressive. Because once she starts being aggressive, it opens up the floor for everybody else.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. She draws a lot of attention to herself, which is good, and obviously, she could go out there and try to get 25 shots every night if she wanted it to be that way, but she doesn't. And like she said, I just want to make sure that she takes advantage of all the opportunities that she has. But every time she does force the action, every time she is coming down the floor, and she's one of the few players out there that you see her head's always up and she sees everything that's going on. So the more aggressive she is, as you said, I think the better our team is, and that doesn't always represent how many points you scored, how many shots you took. I thought she played a great game over the weekend, and she played really well today. You know, and what, she take 13 shots or something like that. So we count on her for a lot of things. I think the best thing she does is she plays defense and she rebounds, you know, and a lot of big scorers, you know, they just kind of focus on one thing.
Caitlyn has become incredibly consistent these past few games. How important is that heading into these final stretches of the regular season?
Well, by this time of the year, everyone should feel pretty comfortable with what the expectation level is for them personally and for our team. It was good that you know, Caitlyn had an opportunity to play in a game like that. You know, on the road, she played a lot of big games like that at Princeton, but they were, you know, usually the underdog more so than we were, you know, or their NCAA tournament games where it's one and done, you know. So the fact that, you know, I look at her now from the first games that she played for us in November until today, she's so confident. She's so sure of herself. You know, I trust her a lot, and so do the kids on the team.
Geno here for She Got Game. Coach, coming into this game, you guys had the game plan for one of the most probably underrated freshmen in the country, Jada Eads. You know, what can you say about her and just what she does to make things difficult, and some of the positives she brings to the floor?
A lot. She brings a lot of positives, and she is kind of a little bit under the radar, not in our league, but I just think that her skills are. She kind of reminds me a little bit of Sarah on our team, in that for a young kid, she's very poised. She knows what shots she wants to take, and she works really hard to get those shots. She's fearless when it comes to attacking with the ball, and plays very confidently, you know. And her confidence is probably. It rubs off on the rest of the kids on the team, you know. I love everything about her, you know. I just think she's one of the best young players in the country.
How close do you feel like Aubrey is to 100% right now after having a night like she was able to tonight?
Well, if we played every game at Walsh, she would be first, second, and third team All-American. She loves this place, you know. She's got a history here, obviously, with her mom and dad. And it's been the scene of some of her best games in her career. But little by little, you know, you see that she's starting to do the things that last January, you know, before she got hurt, I thought she was playing the best basketball of her career. I don't know that she's there quite yet, but the more minutes that we can get her, she does make a difference, you know, for sure. She is a difference maker on our team. Yeah.
Back on Caitlyn for a second, how important is she to what you do on the defensive end? Because not only does she come from a very defense-first program in Princeton, but like I saw tonight, I feel like she got switched on to their 4 and their 5,
yeah,
and really held her own against big girls.
We do a lot. We ask a lot of our guards, because they are matched up with somebody different almost every possession. There's a switch going on, and I think her knowledge of the game and her ability to read what's going on is, you know, you would expect that from someone who's played, you know, 4 years of college basketball, you know, in a really good program, you know, well-coached program. So she brings a lot of knowledge that helps you defensively. Defense is all about, you have to know what's going on. You can't be lost out there, and she's generally really, really good with that stuff. And physically, she's tough, you know. Mentally and physically, she's a really, really tough individual, and that helps her do the things that you're talking about.
Coach, back in 2017, You spoke out politically about a number of things that President Trump was doing. 1 month into his second term, have your stances on his decisions back then changed at all, and is it something you've addressed with your team?
It's also not relevant to.
No, I don't talk politics with my team. They all have their own politics. They all have their own religions. They all have their own views, and I respect them. So, no, I don't do that, and certainly not in this setting.
Go ahead.
Coach, you guys are on a 4-game winning streak since the tough win to Tennessee. What type of momentum does this bring and just build, headed into the tournament, towards the end of the season? Did you like what you saw today, and just, what type of momentum does this bring?
I think the momentum thing is fleeting, I think that game really served its purpose for that day, and it gave us an idea of what is possible, but that's for one day. And now you get back into our league, and it's more we're trying to win a championship, And right now, we have one team, Creighton, that has one loss, and we get to play them. So these next 3 games, we have to win all 3 of these games. So that's our focus. Games like today and games like Sunday, yeah, you have to win. Yeah, you want to win. That's goal number 1. But you have to create great habits that carry you throughout not just the regular season, but then the postseason. So if you win and you're winning poorly because you're just more talented, but you're not solid. Like we were really sloppy that first half, right? And Seton Hall had a lot to do with that, right? It's a lot harder playing a team that knows you really, really well as opposed to a team that sees you once. So we're forced to constantly make adjustments, and I'm sure we'll have to do the same thing at Butler and Creighton and Marquette. But we have to win. It's like we have to go undefeated in our league to win a regular season championship, and we got 3 left to go.
Just wondering if the update on Morgan, the package will be coming with you guys today.
Who?
Morgan?
She's back home. She's home. What can I say? Her ankle's not responding the way we would hope that it was respond. So we'll have an update for you when we get back.
Coach, how important was it tonight, just your defense off the inbound? It seemed like the Pirates were particularly lost.
Yeah, sometimes I'm surprised myself. The things that our players do. Paige especially is really good in that situation. I think she's very intuitive of where the ball is, where it's going to go, and we did get a couple 5-second calls, a couple turnovers. Again, these are things that when the score is what it is, it may not matter that much, but going down the road, it's a big thing because it's something that can turn the game, So, yeah.
Coach, you don't talk about enough Ashton Shea. Coming off the bench against South Carolina, I think she hit 3 in a row, 3-pointer, opened up, and expanded your lead quickly. Today she comes off the bench, does the same thing. Can you just talk about her development and her maturity from last year to this year?
We talked with Ash when we were in the Bahamas about, and actually her and KK, we talked about how last year they were thrown into a situation that they probably had no idea was coming. I don't think they came to Connecticut with who we have thinking I'm going to play 35 minutes every night. Okay, so they were thrown into that situation, and they handled it amazingly well. Now this year, they're having the kind of role that they should have had last year, except the role that they have now, they've had 35 minutes a game experience. So we're not really bringing 2 players off the bench that are role players. They're actually starters that we just don't have room for them right now in the starting lineup. So it's a luxury that we have, and Ash knows what she is. You know, the kid made a name for herself in high school scoring points and being aggressive. And it's great to have somebody like that coming off the bench, you know, because whatever's going on with the starters, there's no let up when she comes in. Sometimes it gets amped up a little bit more, as a matter of fact. And when she gets it going, I mean, if you have her, AZ, and Paige all cooking, it's pretty good for us.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate